Welcome back everyone to episode 7 of Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold multiplayer. So the last turn that I played, we weren't really successful. We tried to push across the stream to the west. We need to find some kind of way of breaking the line. And unfortunately, what you're seeing here is my armored units, which had pushed forward to attack his exposed armor unit, were actually counterattacked. Counterattacked. He counterattacked to put himself out of position. I counterattacked his counterattack, and now I guess it's a. Let's see. Counterattack. So he counterattacked, and it was successful. That's probably going to end the series of back and forth because he did a lot of damage. In fact, he got pretty lucky, I feel. In one of his artillery bombardments, his artillery eliminated 2 of my armored cars. Excuse me, that's not something I was expecting, so I don't think it's very common even. Your armored units are pretty safe from artillery in general, but I mean, it's possible to get them killed, and well, that's just what happened. So let me start off by looking at the history. I'm not going to go through all of it, I'm mainly going to focus on the battles. The main thing you need to know about the stuff that's happening in between the battles is he just did a lot of unit adjustment. So you can see here he has some pretty strong units. If you remember, I bombarded this hex and I even attacked it. It was pretty low on readiness. The units there were pretty fatigued from battle. Now all the new units are in pretty good shape. Basically what happened is he ferried new units in and ferried his old units out. You can see that's kind of the case here as well. He has some pretty strong units that I think we also bombarded this hex, I don't remember. And that's kind of how things go across the front. He used to have some weak armor here, and I think he moved that weak armor over here, if I'm not mistaken. So now he has 2 strong armors here. He also has strong armor in this raw still. Okay, well that's about what I want to talk about for his unit adjustment. Let's see the battles. Now, if you remember the last turn, we actually lost more units than we killed, I think. Or maybe we killed more than we lost, but we took pretty significant casualties trying to cross that one stream. So, like, this is what I was talking about. He moved a lot of forces in and out over here, but we don't need to go into all that details. Let's just skip right to the bombardments. So he did bombard my marsh hex, which is, it's a good move on his part because your units don't really entrench in the marsh. They have very low entrenchment values. Because of marsh, you can't really dig in. So the first attack killed 6 of my units. The next bombardment killed 5 more rifles. And I think actually, did I skip one? 6 my units, okay, yeah, so that was it. Then he killed, he started bombarding. If this was the group of units that I had, remember last turn, I was debating whether or not to combine the 2 armored cars that I had. Unfortunately, one of those armored cars is just going to be straight up eliminated in this turn, which is really sad because that's the loss of a political point even. Anyways, this is the bombardment I was talking about. He eliminated 2 armored cars just with 8 artillery. There's nothing you can do about this, but this is, I would say, I'm trying not to be too biased about this, but I think it was a very lucky engagement for him. So very unlucky for me. So he did follow that up with an actual, this is one more bombardment. He just killed one of the remaining riflemen. And then he followed it up with an attack, a 3-sided attack, 3-pronged, all of his, with just huge armor, big armor contingent. 3 heavy armored divisions attacked my really depleted forces and wiped me out. Like I said, one of my divisions was completely destroyed. We lost a standard light tank from my light armor, and the other, we also lost some more riflemen. Basically, all my units in this area were decimated. Now, they did 2 more bombardments, one here and then one right below it, and killed a few more troops. What was the one before this? I forget. 15 more riflemen, and yeah, so it wasn't spectacular. I think we lost a total of 40 units. 40 infantry and that also the the 3 armored cars and the 1 light armor, so 4 armored units. And that's the significant thing. We're replacing the rifles, at the rate of about, I think it's over 100 per turn still, so losing 40 is not a huge deal, but we only build 4 light tanks per turn, so losing 4 armored units is pretty significant. It sets us back a bit. Now, that being said, I did a little bit of looking off camera to see what are our options right now. Is it like a wise idea to just hold these lines and just exchange artillery fire? Because I think we're kind of winning the artillery exchanges. But no, that's not what we wanted, right? Now, they fortified this line. We weren't able to break through fast enough. They did a good job of presenting a really solid defensive line. I don't see the ability for us to punch through on any part of this. The lines are just too well defended. If it wasn't for the massive attack stacks, I would say that it would be nice to just put a bunch of armor and try to punch through in a single point. That's what I was planning on doing from the beginning. But he has enough armor defending, so basically we're at the point where light armor alone just won't cut it. Probably we're going to need to go up to medium armor or, I don't know, find some other way around this fortified front. One idea I have is to keep pushing the attack here, because I did check that these armored units are close enough that they can engage across the stream. So I think that's what we're going to end up trying this turn. And we might as well even try that first, because if it doesn't work, we're going to have to reevaluate our options. Now, one downside to bombarding this unit is that our artillery is going to be a bit exposed if we leave it here. So if I tried to just bombard with this artillery here, it was safe last turn, but again, it's kind of exposed. I'm still going to risk it because it's that important for us to take this hex. So let me start off by doing a bombardment from these 2 artillery pieces. Well, I guess they aren't artillery pieces, they're artillery divisions. So both of those divisions engage. I don't think that was as much damage as I was expecting. We took their readiness down to about 30 and we killed about 12. I was expecting maybe a little bit better, but let's just hope we get a little bit more out of this artillery. Let's hope. I'm hoping for like 15 readiness in the end, or maybe 20? Okay, 16. Yeah, that's about what I wanted. We killed 1 more machine gun and 5 more riflemen. Actually, I think this is the first machine gun we killed. So their units are pretty low. There's even 1 more artillery we could use way back here. So actually, yeah, let's just move him 1 unit forward. And we'll bombard from 2 axes away. This will keep him a little bit out of the front lines too, which is good. So let's do 1 more attack. He'll be able to get 7 more rounds off. And we took him down to a readiness of 10. That's fantastic. What's left is very, very, very low readiness units. So we see that our estimations are that their readiness is all around 10. Which is really good. So now what we're going to do is actually attack. Thank God for this road we built last turn. Because of that, our armor can actually move into the marsh. I'm not going to move in the tank, even though it has slightly better attack, because the armor car has lower stacking. Basically, it's easier for the armor cars to maneuver with each other and with other units. So because of that, it's going to be more effective for us to engage with more armored cars, because we're only going up against infantry. Now, one thing I should do before we really move in here is scout with my Jeep. So let's do that. Let's see, 55. Let's go here, 45. And how much would this be? 35. And he'd have 20. Which is not really enough for him to move back as far as I'd want. So let's just see what he spotted already. So we can confirm that this armor only has 1 standard light tank. That's good. As in, the reaction force can't be that strong. I think we have 1 more Jeep somewhere. Oh, here. I actually want this Jeep to scout north, because I have absolutely no idea what's up there. So I'm going to move it up like this, which is going to cost 70. This gives us a good idea that hopefully there's actually nothing there. We can't tell because of the low mountains, but if there's something in the low mountains, they're going to be able to counterattack us very easily. Now my Jeep can move back south at the end of this turn to avoid actually taking any damage or anything. We'll even move this infantry a little closer. It doesn't really give us much better reconnaissance, but we at least know more about this. But this is definitely one of the units which was attacked last turn that had to pull up. We know because the readiness is still low from all the bombardment we did. And actually we attacked, right? So it's low from the attacks. Same with these two. So this must have been the 3 units. These 3 must have been the 3 units that were in this hex. And I think that makes sense because I did look at the history and I probably saw where those units went. I just don't remember exactly, but that probably makes sense. Okay, so let's actually do this attack then. Is there any other units we want to get involved? Well, the sad thing is our engineer is not going to be able to build a road across. I know this is counting chickens before they hatch, but if we do a successful attack here, our engineer won't be able to build a road across because I moved him back at the end of the last turn just to avoid him being bombarded here. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or a bad idea. It certainly did prevent us from being able to build a bridge this turn, but to be honest, his engineering points are so low, he doesn't... I mean, to word this in terms which are not related to the game, in order to have all the supplies he needs to build a bridge, which is pretty significant, he's going to need 2 more turns for all those supplies to arrive with the unit. So it doesn't really matter that he's here or here, because I can move him there this turn, especially if we actually breach. Now, the problem with breaching is we're only going to have 1 single hex across the river, and that's not ideal. So maybe if I can, we'll see if there's any other artillery I can push forward. It doesn't look like it, but it would have been nice to push 1 more group of artillery forward. Yeah, we aren't able to. Just so I could get some bombardment on this hex, and this would just be to prevent the counterattack. So you could say that maybe it would have been better to use this unit to bombard this unit. Yeah, maybe. Actually, the main threat to us if we do get across, I know, again, we're talking about something before it happens, so let's just do the attack, and then we can figure out what happens. So I'm going to use both of the armored cars. In fact, we only have 1. Wait, no. Yeah, we have both of them in there. I was mistaken. Let's get both of those guys. And now I think these units are in better shape, so we're going to attack with this mortar. And this machine gun has pretty high readiness as well. So we'll attack with both of these units. And I don't think there's anybody else we want to attack with, so we'll just hold with those guys. Yeah, okay. So, wow. The attack went really poorly for us. I lost 2 armored cars, which is pretty insane. However, we did kill 65 units. Well, almost 70 total. So that's the good news. The bad news is we lost 2 armored cars, which is pretty significant. Man, we're just losing units, armored cars left and right. I don't think there's any way. If I move this guy here, yeah, there's no way that I can get across, so, we'll just have to hope that 6 armored cars is enough to hold. So everyone who attacked for sure has to move in. I mean, I take that back. It'll actually be better for us to move machine guns in. I'm going to move 2 of these low readiness machine guns in instead. So this is a pretty good attack stack, and it's a very good defensive hex. 2 armored cars, 6 armored cars total. Again, this is why I knew I would be very weak against armor, because we only have 6 armored cars. That's still something. But if we come up against tanks, we're going to be in big trouble. Okay, now, we're not done. That's, okay, this is still huge. We have actually breached the front. They're going to have to react in a very strong manner. It's going to be a huge reaction. Artillery, which is too close to the front, is going to have to be pulled back. They're going to have to throw forces towards Landberg to try to form some other line. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens at the beginning of my next turn, just to look and see what he did on his turn. Because this breach is it's a huge vulnerability for him. Okay, but that being said, we need to make sure we fortify this line, which is it's our defense point. So in order to do that, I'm going to first move my engineer up. That still makes sense to me. Does it make sense to overstack this hex by putting in some more riflemen? I don't know. Assuming they do artillery bombardment first, that's going to take us below the 100 stack. If he kills like 20 units, yeah, I think it's still fine for us just... Now, we've seen that artillery can actually kill my armored cars, which is sad, but all we need to do is survive one turn and then we'll be able to get this armor across. So let me move. We're going to need some kind of armor at this staging marsh. However, I need armor to be deployed here and here because I want to protect... I really need to protect this crossroads hex. It's my gateway to the bridge crossing. So in order to do that, I think we're going to end up moving all of our armor out here. Let's get the third armor into the staging point. Let's get the fourth armor down here. This Jeep has done its scouting job, so I'm just going to pull it back. Maybe to here, so that it can scout. Maybe even across the river next turn, but at least back over to here. This Jeep has done its scouting job, so we'll pull it back there. Okay, so now what do I want to do? I actually want to defend this hex, so we need to push up any kind of machine guns. We have a machine gun here. It can't make it. We have a machine gun here, which can. Okay, very good. So we'll defend with the machine gun, and then we just need to pull up any kind of infantry. We'll get this one, which is slightly better. This can be attacked from 3 sides, I see. So that's not good, but it's a very strong hex. It'll probably suffer a little bombardment from artillery. But if they are engaging here, the good news is they're probably allocating resources to attacking the southern part of my front instead of trying to counterattack the breach that we have. So this foothold across the stream is huge. We're going to try to defend this at all costs. So I want these units just not to retreat. To stay until like almost the last man. Okay, very good. Now that all being said... I think that's all we want to do. The rest of this turn is just going to be shifting forces up like this, and we'll probably get both of these blue in here, and now we'll just shift the armor from here over to here, and the machine gun here. It doesn't have enough riflemen yet, I guess, so let's first give him the rifleman he's missing. And now we can move that unit down. These all have 16. Okay, so let's also try with, I guess, whatever. The lowest number. Let's manually add the rest of the divisions he needs, the rest of the riflemen he needs. And although it's a bit low on readiness, we still, something defending there is better than nothing, so we'll move something in. Okay, so nobody else can move across. The ideal would be to push across and again attack, but nobody has enough action. Nobody can do all that in this single turn. The most we can do is just hold this foothold. It would be really nice if we could actually attack further, which would definitely help us in holding territory on the west side of the bank. But that's okay. Let's see. So we have this armor. We have 2 units which are a little bit... We might as well just manually add it. Nah, it doesn't actually matter, so never mind. They're going to be the same readiness no matter what, so... Okay, so that being said, I think that the 2 armor we have here is sufficient. In fact, I'm going to actually transfer this out. Let's move this headquarters up. This might be all kind of useless stuff for us. I'm not sure if we really need to watch all this on camera. So basically what I'll do is I'll call this video to a close after I do a few bombardments. I know I wanted to bombard down here because I just have free artillery to spend. Okay, let's also bombard this raw. And actually, one of the artillery here, I think that having this pair here, it can hit any of these 3 hexes. It seems really useful. So I'm going to keep them there. Excuse me. Very good. Location is knocked out. Actually, that's pretty good. So we have actually made this non-functional in terms of producing raw. But that's okay. I mean, I don't think raws is a problem for him. It's not a problem for me, so. Mainly just killing the 4 units. It's not much, but it's something. Now these 2 artillery here will continue to pound this open hex, which hopefully will also help prevent a counterattack. So let's take the 2nd and the 6th. Maybe we can kill a tank? That would be really nice. Yeah, no such luck. They killed 2 of my armored cars in that one bombardment. I know I may sound a little bitter. I'm just more surprised, and I'm hoping that Lady Luck will smile on me as well. But not yet. Okay, so now let's get this artillery is able to bombard this hex, which should also hopefully help prevent any kind of counterattack, even though this won't be much damage. Kill a tank. Yeah, well, just saying the words doesn't mean it happens. But we killed another 5 units and we lowered their readiness a bit. That's useful. Okay, so now this unit is going to move over here, and we're just going to actually transfer out the armored car. It's not going to be of any use just by itself, and we'll use this, probably we'll get, I think we'll get another armor division with the yellow, because they're obviously running a little bit lower now. So, okay, let's, the 1 armor we have. I also wanted to remove some of the armor from this area. In fact, I want to kind of abandon this hex just in general because we're just being constantly attacked by massive amounts of artillery here. And it's open plain, so we just get mowed down. And I think that it's even worth leaving this unit open to a 4-sided attack because it will present an opportunity for a counterattack if they don't take the hex. Ideally, what I want to do is actually put armor in the mountains, but I don't think anybody has the action points necessary. I guess it would take 90 to go in. It would take 85 and they only have 82. So you can see that it's impossible for us to get any kind of armor in there this turn. Now, these guys are extremely well entrenched. I don't think that they have we have a real problem holding that. But at the same time, it would be a lot easier to hold if we got some armor in there. Excuse me, sorry, frog in my throat. Let's go ahead and we'll just pull one of our units out here. And then I'll move I'll move this armored car back so that he can get into the mountains next turn. Like so. And this light tank should be able to hold up well. I hope. And let's see, we have armored cars here. No, I think I'm just going to stay here. We have 1 armored car. I wouldn't mind getting another machine gun down there though, so let me do that. Let me get another machine gun, and let me move the armor down here, which is a good staging point for a counterattack, possibly. Let's also get this guy to move up here so that we have 2 armor in this group, which is even better staging point for an armored counterattack. Okay, but I think that's all we really need to do. I'll continue to shuffle around the forces, but I think you get the general idea of what I'm trying to do here. Just shore up the lines over here, do some more bombardment. I don't think we have any bombardment left. I'll create the new units and all the rest of the stuff that I want to do off camera. So thanks for watching. This is really exciting. We got a breach. We have a foothold on the west side of the bank over here. The question is, can we hold it? And we won't know that until next episode. So until then, take care.